Okay, going to talk a little about setting up the drawing, um, and we're going to do it using the BPS system because that's the one we're still using. The CCS system isn't live yet. So because they're location drawings, are only dealing with level 1 and level 3 for the most part. The only time you would deal with level 2 is if you had several different blocks in your scheme. According to the SFB code, you can see along the top here, we've got the general numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we're going to go down to 9 because 9 means a total. And we're going to be dealing with 99, which is the total building. That's distinct from just the totals of all the sub-elements of the building. And an example of a BPS SFB number. In this case, number 5 just means block number. So here you have the list of drawings from the exercise, the project text. And if we're going to set up these drawings at the top, excuse me, they would be something along these lines, where 99 means overall, 1 means overall site, and 3 means overall plan of an individual block. So let's just kick it off. Because we're dealing with drawings that are for the client, they need to show the entirety of the building. So even if you haven't finished your stair design, you should need to indicate some kind of a stairs. So in this sample block here, I've just I've put in a component stairs that just follows the line of the scheme as set up in the original. So that's in there. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a new sheet. I'm going to use this Kia template. So it's an A1 sheet that I'm setting up here. Give it a drawing name. And I can see that the date's set up correctly. I'm just going to put my name in here. And then I'm just going to put in the correct drawing number. So again, 99 overall building, 1 meaning site plan, and 1 is just an identifying number. That could be anything, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever suits your position you are in the drawing setup. So now I'm just going to go over and drag in the site plan. Now this is just an example of a site plan. Just to have something on the drawing. In actual fact, you need to set up a site plan according to these 7 points on the right hand side there. And these are the important things. Also, grids are not necessary for the site plan. They're just confusing. So we just want to see the shape of the building. We want to see the roads layout, bin stores, parking. North point is very important. And think about anything on the site that is specific to the project that needs to be included. So there's the scale now appearing in the title block. And now I'm just going to crop the viewport. So I'm going to go down to the crop view, and I'm going to turn on crop region so we can see it. I'm just going to stretch it until it suits. I don't want to see the edges of the side. And then I'm going to switch off crop region again. So the drawing remains cropped, but the edges of it aren't visible. Of course, I have to activate the view in order to do that. So now I'm going to start setting up the rest of the sheets. I'm just going to do that very quickly. Just keep copying them along. Now we're getting to the plans, so I'm going to change the initial number there to 3. I'm going to change that free number to 1. duplicate the view. Oh, sorry, I mean set up a new sheet. My mistake. So let's do that a few times. I won't worry about the titles or the numbers yet. So then we're going to set up a drawing list. Usual way, using schedules, where we bring over the fields that we think will be useful to the list. And then we can move around within the list as to where we think the various fields should go. The higher up the sheet they go, the further to the left they will turn up in the schedule. So there we have the drawing list, showing sheet number, location plan, and author in some cases. I'm just going to use the filter control to get rid of the splash screen. We don't want that showing up in the drawing list, even though it's useful for filing the project. So I'm going to say anything that does not contain splash with a capital S is allowed to remain in the project, or in the drawing list. So there we go, it's disappeared. Now we can go ahead and fill in the rest of the drawing names as per the requirements from the project text. There we go. I cheated a little bit there. Just clipped out that bit in the middle where I was typing. So now I'm going to bring over the schedule of apartment types. This is important for this type of client. The product they're selling are the apartments, so you need to show them how many of their product they have in the scheme. And we can set up a schedule using the same method we used for setting up the schedule of modules in the last video. We can bring in the schedule of modules too. If it's a professional client, they would likely want to see that as well. And here we have a schedule of modules showing the total number for production. So let's put that on the site plan as well. It's not necessary to put it on the site plan. You can have a separate sheet for each one, but sometimes it makes it easier. Now, this is a little trick with view templates. For example, let's set up a section, a new section, section 4. And what we want to do here is, excuse me, make sure that the initial section doesn't contain any information that isn't relevant to describing what we want the client to see. We don't want them talking about stuff that we haven't designed yet. So first of all, just from a graphical point of view, it's better to take out the at least one set of text with regards to levels. Take that out. We only need one, so make the drawing as simple and elegant as possible, but retaining all the information that we want to think about, or at least we want to talk about. And at this stage in a project, we haven't designed any of the junctions between anything, so we need to just remove those. We also want to remove these boxes, these crop regions, and we want to remove the grid lines. We don't need that at this stage in a project. Certainly not for this type of presentation drawing. So we'll hide it by category. And there we go. Now we got it set up. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to change the visibility in graphics. Select, hold down the Shift key and select the bottom. And then we can override the cut pattern within the so it's going to basically change all the cut patterns for every material in the drawing to white. Press OK in order to make the drawing as clean as possible. But now we want to use the join command in the modify tool to join all these elements together visually, so that the spaces and the walls are clearly distinct, and there is no junction to talk about, because we don't have anything to talk about at this stage. So we remove all that information as quickly as we can. There we go. Didn't take that long. So then we have a pretty clean drawing. We spent a bit of time setting this up. So it's important that we find a way to copy a lot of this work. And we do that by setting up, by creating a template from the view that we've just set up. So let's create a new template by right-clicking on the view name in the project browser. Call it Section 4 Template. It shows up here where the settings are can be globally altered. But what that means is we can use the settings that we've used for this section for other drawings within the scheme. Not all the settings will come through. Let's just apply. Right-click and apply template to this view here, Section 4 Template. And you can see that the grid lines have disappeared. But we still have to do some further editing with the level lines and so forth. And probably with an elevation view, we would be better to set up an elevational template that contains shadows and colors and textures and so on. So let's just apply it to this again. Template with far more settings than I'm displaying here. This is just to some way of showing it. So now we want to show materials because we're dealing with design intent as to how we want the building to look. So we have to at least show what the external wall is like. And because we're dealing with groups, we don't want to be changing the wall thickness at this point here, because it will screw up the groups, to be honest with you. So we need to fake it in some kind of a way. Because these are concept drawings, we're just going to change the material of the external wall so it has the material that we want it to be. In this case I'm using this timber clapboard. Apply that. It's okay. And press apply and OK. Just going to rename this 3D view I set up earlier. I'm going to call it a perspective to south. There it is there. So now I'm just going to set up a new sheet, a new A1 to display these 3D views I have. First go down and make sure that the drawing number is correct. I'm going to change it to 1 because it's showing the entire site. And then we'll just call it number 3. So now I'm just going to go over and drag in the perspective view we just set up. Perspectives to south. Or maybe isometric first, actually. Let's have a look at that. So in this case, I just want to focus on the stairs because I want to talk to the client specifically about the stairs for some reason. So we'll use the crop box to cut out the rest of the drawing. So we're focusing just on that element where the stairs is visible. And then switch the crop region off. It's usually good practice to switch the crop region off because it just makes the drawings look a little bit more together, professional. You can see here once again I've changed the sectional materials to black using the perspective view first. There we go. And now the isometric view. And I'm just going to change the scale of that so it gets to be the right size on the sheet that I want it to be. So now you can see the materials are displayed, both as line drawings and as mapped materials. So the last thing we need to do is set up an A3 sheet for the drawing list. And the beauty of having a drawing list is we can go in and edit the drawing list in the list itself, and the changes we make in the list will update across to the names and the numbers of the drawings. Let's try again this sheet.